This is how to blow up your YouTube channel with just one video. And if not one video, then maybe just a few videos. You can spend years grinding average videos, which takes 1,171 uploads and sounds miserable, or craft a few killer videos that explode your channel 10, 20, even 100 times further in a fraction of the time. And here's the truth. Most successful channels get their big break not from 1,000 videos, but from 1 or 2 killer hits. They have a genius process to select the most promising ideas, visualize them into thumbnails, and then craft them into killer videos. And once you adopt this process, that's the moment everything changes. And good news is, it's actually quite simple. In 2018, I was spending loads of effort making videos for clients that were frankly not really going anywhere. I could make really pretty videos, but why weren't they blowing up? Well, while researching YouTube growth in a library, where we all go to find YouTube advice, amidst Albert Einstein's discoveries, I found his other breakthrough model. Albert Einstein laid out his fundamental theorem of YouTube, stating that all YouTube growth is dependent upon just 3 factors. I started running this model on a dozen, 100, 1,000 channels. Okay, maybe not 1,000, but instantly I could discover why a channel had average, good, or killer growth. And it isn't about camera quality or crazy editing skills. Instead, this killer change happens by a process shift. There are only 3 factors to a killer YouTube channel, and this video will walk you through all of them. You might realize you've been doing YouTube totally backwards, but that's okay. It means you have the chance to become something new. If you're new to the channel, welcome, because you're home, and to be honest, we need you. Subscribers to this channel are men and women who want to make themselves, their families, and the world a better place because of their videos, and the world desperately needs your light right now. I can't promise that this video will make YouTube easier, but it will make it simpler, which I guess does make it easier. So let's start making a video, right? Wrong! Before we ever touch a camera, we have to nail the idea. When making videos, typically we spend a few minutes coming up with an idea, then we script it, we film it, we edit it, we slap together a thumbnail at the last second, and then we pray to the YouTube algorithm to promote our video that nobody wanted to watch in the first place. This probably means your video was a bad idea. Welcome to the club. Remember how we said this is about a process? Listen, the idea is the foundation upon which your thumbnail and video are built. Bad idea, bad thumbnail and video. What if the entire video was built on a single killer idea? An idea so good, people have to watch. Well, this creative shift is the catalyst moment when a YouTuber starts to get it.
Oh, so you're saying idea even before the thumbnail?
Yes. And I hope right now is that catalyst moment for you.
The difference between a video on YouTube with 1 million views or 30 million views, the video with 30 million views usually didn't put in 30 times the effort. They might have put in 2 or 3 times the effort and just had a way better idea. Does that make sense?
Yes.
You could pull triple the views with half the work if you just had better ideas.
This video should slap you in the face, so you shift your production from video creation into the ideation phase. And then you should slap that like button and hit subscribe. And Einstein's model revealed something to me that completely blew my mind about ideation. The idea isn't the topic. It's the hook. Just imagine you're walking with a friend, or better yet, actually go for a walk with a friend. And imagine that friend asks you, what's your next video about? Well, whatever's about to come out of your mouth, that's your hook.
How to cook eggs.
Nah.
How to bake cookies. Best kitchen appliances for 2025. How to be like a Michelin star chef.
Actually, maybe.
At this point, you're not yet working on a title or a thumbnail for your video. You're just talking about the idea.
Maybe how does a Michelin star chef, how do they cook 200 meals a night?
Yeah, I think that'd be kind of cool to see. Like the process start to finish of like a Michelin star dish.
What if we broke down a Michelin star dish from menu to delivered to the table?
That sounds fun.
Do you see how by working with people you get so much better feedback? Honestly, some of the biggest channels in the world work with world-class strategists in groups to develop their ideas into hooks. And if you can work with a group like this weekly, I promise you your results are going to be so much better. But then how do we craft these good ideas into killer ones? Well, remember this video? This isn't just a video, this is a hook. Like, I need this for my own channel and for my clients' channels just as much as anyone else. When I saw this video, I knew I had to track down the person responsible for it. And then I did. Or rather, he found me. We connected, and I knew I had to fly immediately to go meet him in Mexico. I know, too expensive. But then I realized that was too expensive. So instead, I sat down with Jamie from the Zach and Jay Show. Jamie spent years perfecting the art of ideation, working with some of the biggest creators and entrepreneurs in the industry. He has the most incredible ideation process I've ever seen, and our conversation helped totally reframe the way I think about ideas.
That video, we gained $40,000, 295,000 subscribers.
All from one video.
It broke the internet, man. It broke the internet. I remember looking back at all of our video ideas, and 62% of all of our channel views came from just 4 ideas.
For your clients' channels, how do you filter out what videos are going to be killer?
That's the exact question that I asked myself 3 years ago when I went into consulting. So the Triple C methodology, so you want to capture everything that has ever performed well in your niche. You then want to categorize that up, so you've got high performing content categories. You then want to create your roadmap from there.
Start by creating 3 to 5 pillar content categories. Now start listing out ideas underneath each of these categories and realize that like 90% of your ideas are going to be average, but 10% will be pretty good.
More research on what ideas you're going to create in the first place equals way more reviews.
To help myself and my friends organize their own process, I created this app called Studio Forge. It helps me brainstorm killer ideas, plan killer thumbnails, and create killer videos and scripts. Link below in the description. This was a while ago that Jamie and I talked, and we decided we should be joining forces. So Jamie and I decided to work together with YouTubers. And if you want to apply to work with me and Jamie, then link below in the description. The world is getting lonelier and lonelier, and well, more on that later in the video. But your ideas are going to be so much better if you work with people. And that's pretty neat. It all starts with the idea and the conceptual hook. Killer idea, killer video. And speaking of video, time to get working on the video, right? No! At this point, you might have the most killer idea on YouTube, so don't waste that by treating the thumbnail as an afterthought. Make your thumbnail first. If ideation is where we developed a hook, the thumbnail is where we visualize that hook. And when I say thumbnail, that includes your title as well. It's more like packaging. Now, how to make a thumbnail. Fiverr is littered with thousands of thumbnail designers who have really impressive Photoshop skills, and I guarantee you, at least 95% of these thumbnails will flop. Patty Galloway, in an interview with Jay Klaus, said it perfectly.
A thumbnail to me is at least 80, maybe 90% the psychology of the click, and then maybe 10-20% the actual design of the thumbnail.
Fancy graphics and bright colors by themselves, they don't do much to cause me intrigue. Like, take a look at these highly edited thumbnails. We got bright colors, big expressions, SEO optimized titles, and verily, they have their reward. On the other hand, these thumbnails have simple images, simple titles, yet these thumbnails blew up these channels. Why? Because there's a hook. A visualized hook. Like if I choose not to watch these videos, I'm costing myself something. I get FOMO. And to be IRL, I'm kind of tempted to quit all this YouTube stuff and start farming, but I'll stick around a few more years. So the process of visualizing your hook into a killer thumbnail essentially follows 4 rules.
More what you call guidelines than actual rules.
Or guidelines. While you're making your title and thumbnail, constantly refer back to your hook. Make sure that you're focused on visualizing this and don't get distracted by other options. Personally, I am by no means a good designer, so I prefer to write my ideas before I create them. Then I'll start looking at other successful channels' thumbnails. Maybe there's psychology or design elements from those that I could put my own spin on it. Then finally, it's time to create and iterate. And isn't it so nice that I'm validating if I'm gonna get clicks now before I spend all the time, energy, effort, and money making a video that no one's gonna click on? This is where killer YouTube channels are made. You've already validated the idea in the thumbnail. And yeah, this process can be brutal, but it's awesome. You're crafting videos that actually do something for people, not just content. You're learning to care more about the viewer than you care about yourself. And that's a beautiful change. And this is why Jamie and I decided to join forces together, because we spend so much time as a group crafting and getting feedback that there's no way we could do that all on our own. And the more time we spend crafting our idea and thumbnail, the less time we spend on wasted videos that didn't have a chance in the first place. So now in our process, there's just one part left.
This is where the fun begins.
When you break down what makes a killer video, it essentially boils down to two components. How do you set up your video, and how do you deliver it? And a killer intro does three things. It aligns with the thumbnail. People clicked on your video expecting something, and if your intro doesn't deliver on that expectation, you're dead on arrival. It makes a promise, so what is the payoff of the video? And it grips the audience emotionally. If I don't feel anything about your video, then by definition, I don't care about it. Just fixing your intro like this gives you such a better shot at a killer video to blow up your channel. So pacing. Now, a lot of people get confused. Most assume pacing means fast, but a killer video isn't about speed, it's about momentum. It's not about cramming in as many cuts as possible or making your edit chaotic. It's about efficiency, delivering value in the most engaging way possible. It's about rhythm, balancing tension, anticipation, and payoff. And it's about knowing when to slow down and when to hit hard. At any point where your attention starts drifting, you gotta cut it. And pacing like this is brutal. You're gonna have to cut so many parts that you love. But that's the price of a killer video. And honestly, when Jamie and I work with people, once they have the killer idea, the killer thumbnail, and a killer intro to their video, they can just feel out what's right. Link below in the description if you want to work in this group with us. But again, even if you're not in a position to work with us, please find somebody to work with. Because that's the science to all this. This is the fundamental theorem of YouTube, Einstein's killer model. But there's an art to it. You just have to ask yourself, how can I fall in love with this process? How can I have fun with it? How can I give myself so fully to creating something that truly adds value to the world? And maybe after watching this video, you've realized YouTube isn't for you, and that's okay. We all need to find something we do love, or better yet, someone. Because the truth is, the world is getting lonelier and lonelier. Social media, lockdowns, isolation, even AI. We are more connected than ever, and yet people feel lonelier than they ever have. One of my favorite spiritual leaders, still alive at 100 years old and unable to see the teleprompter anymore, recently said this.
I have learned that the most crucial question we each must answer is this: to whom or to what will I give my life?
That question, it hit me hard. I realize I'm giving my life to things that don't actually matter to me. We numb ourselves with distractions. We drown out the loneliness with endless scrolling, endless consuming. And without the loneliness, we never feel the pull to connect with people. So to whom or to what am I going to give my life? I don't want to live my life numbed. I want to give more of my life to family and to feeling the love of a Heavenly Father. And yeah, YouTube, that's also important to me right now. I love working with all these cool people. But even YouTube, it's not the most important thing in my life. This is the killer model, but fall in love with this process as much as you love the result. And speaking of process, this was a long process making this video. I'm exhausted, I'm hungry, and I should probably go spend some time with some people right now. So, I'll see you in the next video, which hopefully is a lot sooner than usual.